Well, hi, Gary. Thanks for having me on the show today. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Cassandra Bright. You may have seen me sprinkled across the internet as I practice the philosophies of the Vaynernation, really taking on the challenge of doing the work. So telling you a little bit about myself, I have a lot of history in a work setting, meaning I've worked in corporate organizations from waiting tables. And I could spend like 30 minutes talking about my work history, but that's not what this visit is about. This visit's about you. So let's focus that I have on the VFriends t-shirt. So I want to give a shout out to all the VFriends holders out there. And then I also want to say thank you for watching. Just a little bit evolution into the difference between me and a normal business personality is I have I'm more heavy in the spiritual background than in the business background. I'm a psychic, telepathic, clairvoyant medium who channels and specifically speaks to God. And I advanced my skills utilizing the internet as a structure to reach even all the way out to space. So please enjoy the conversation Gary won't be stepping in very much because we have a time limit and I have a lot to say on the different aspects of what he teaches, just in a evolutionized version of what he speaks of. It's all the same, but it's evolutionized, meaning evolution means growth. Call me the other half. All right, so the 10 ways to become successful is you want to bet on your strengths. So I wrote them all down, and I actually want to say thank you to an organization who put these together. They either borrowed them from Gary or they've taken his work and made their own hustle. It was a hustle. So this is great. This is how we all work together as a community. So this is particularly speaking to this person who's part of Vaynernation. This is a strength for him. Bet on your strengths. Likely he did not give Gary a call. He knew Gary was up to big things, meaning it takes more than one person to deliver the messages out into the universe to express these words. If you enjoy it, if you know that it works, no one owns dialogue. Everything's already been created before. It's all about putting your spin on it, which becomes your strength. So not everybody's good. Like, my weakness is documentation and paperwork. That's my weakness. My strengths are reading people. I'm a people person. So bet on your strengths, and that goes for when you own a business. You want to put the right people in the right positions because the team becomes strength. Just thinking, I'm like looking to see if there's anything else I want to say in that, because sometimes it gets lost in the conversation of the ones who don't want us to succeed. So it's another strength of mine is recognizing when someone's trying to put a lid on possibility. Out hustle everyone. What does out hustle everyone look like to you? For some people, when you first start out, it's going to look like working 12-hour shifts. That's the work. Somebody's dream might be to be in partnership with their dad in a liquor store. That sounds like a great plan to me. However, things come along, like a wife, that say that that's not enough for them. So then the mind expands into what else is possible. So that's also an evolution. But it also, having the foundation of one goal creates another goal, which looks like the ceiling becomes the floor. Because you have to grow in expansion like this. You don't just shoot for the top, otherwise you end up like Mr. Beast, who is not up to good things. It's the enjoyment of the process. And as long as you're living comfortably, enjoying the work, enjoying the process, the whole idea is the hustle becomes, the hustle is like the hustle. La, 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 but the hustle is kind of like gangster too. Gangster in the sense that it's like empowering and like, you know, you're doing a great job kind of thing. You want to put business into perspective. So you want to dissect the sentence. And what is perspective? There's different meanings to this word perspective in this, and what I'm seeing with this perspective. Perspective is looking at what you enjoy and how can you put your perspective on and spin on that thing that you enjoy into making it into a business. One. Pretty simple. How do you do that? You go around and you look at what this person's doing, how this person's done it, how this person's done it, how this person's done it. And then somewhere in there, you can get a little, you can mirror them with your own spin. Always your own spin. You always want to stay true to who you are. And then you want to maybe step outside the box and do like I did, was do something that no one has ever done before. No one has ever done this ever. Because people care too much what other people think. Except for the media, who definitely does what I do. However, they have ill intentions behind what they're up to. Then you also want to take a look at perspective in business. As perspective, looking at business as if you already have the business. Meaning being of service as the business, but then the perspective of the business educational system. If you follow my content, I have a book called Blue Ocean Strategy that I highly recommend. It's written by Yale. Excuse me, it might be Harvard. There's two of them. There's a first part that has to do with your personal growth in business, and then the second part has to do with your team efforts in a business. Because there's always different perspectives on how you meet business. My perspective comes from a more people-focused perspective, whereas others have a more money-driven perspective. In my opinion, and in factual experience, my life is way more important than money. So my perspective is people-driven. And then for those of you, I can see it through your eyes because I'm not. My other weakness, because I'm happy to call this a weakness, is the strategic force of the growth of business forward. Again, going back to that money is not that important to me. Happiness and joy are. Which is why the balance of what Gary and I operate under is balanced, because he is people-oriented, but he's also sees that little straw-like hole that he can move the business forward. Like, how do you turn it into a business? And how do you turn it into a business to strategically make it financially opportunity? We've got some, just to let everybody know, the psychic is definitely on, and I'm being heavily pressed into not saying this stuff to you. So I can actually evolve even more because I always forget that you all are taking baby steps, and I'm literally, you're over here and I'm all the way over here. Okay, like you're over here, which is not a bad thing. It's just where you are. I've done 43 years of scientific discovery and self-inquiry. Not to mention I channel God. So being hard on yourself in that is you have to accept where you are, which is a very huge perspective when it comes to business. Okay? Execute on ideas. So a lot of A lot of you, I'd say 99% of you, spend more time thinking, strategizing, trying, deleting, trying, deleting, trying, deleting, making, deleting, don't like that, delete, 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 don't send, don't send, don't send, don't send. And there's a couple things that happen with that is one, you rob your patrons of your content. You're robbing us of who you are. Two, you care way too much what other people think. You have so much fear around failure that you don't deliver the product, which means that you never grow. You always stay stuck in that hamster wheel of one day. One day is now. In a video I'll be posting later on, we're moving into Eckhart Tolle's discussion because all my content kind of flows like a river. We're going to be discussing how to get present. So there's a lot of different other aspects in my content that are important to evolving you as a person. But if you evolve yourself as a person, you evolve yourself as a business. Because you technically are the business, not a brand. However, brand has been utilized as, brand means fake. And in the definition of what it is now, brand means fake. Don't overlook the storytelling. Be a storyteller. It's often best when you are, and this is for feedback for the person who wrote this, or even for Gary, I'm not sure what's going on here. You always want to leave people in positivity of movement forward. So utilizing words like don't, mom, my mom taught me this, don't forget to put your clothes in the dryer. Mom says, remember to put your clothes in the dryer. So sit with the energy in that. Don't forget to put your clothes in the dryer. Remember to put your clothes in the dryer. Don't overlook storytelling. Tell more stories. In ancient history from the days prior, we have all been storytellers. It's how we communicate. It's how we enjoy our lives. It's fun. It's interesting. We get curious. I'm having some side cross-talking. Sorry, I'm like totally cross-talking. So storytelling is basically, you have to do actions that are mentionable stories. However, if you go to the grocery store and you buy chicken, you literally have 100 pieces of content in a 30-minute grocery store event. Now, utilizing such a simple topic creates an expansion of your storytelling creation, meaning you learn how to storytell. Some people are natural born storytellers. However, everyone is a storyteller. That's the beauty of life, and the differences of who we are is we get to see the different perspectives. If you get people upset, then it's not about you, it's about them, and they're dealing with something. And that's in a sane mentality. Always noting what your intention is behind the story, as I discussed yesterday, as you were disgusted by my video of side jumping and broccoli that creates flatulence. However, we saw that there was a lot of caring what people think on your end as another example of how that content was a lesson for you. It was not a failure to me. And as if you've been watching the 12 Laws of Success, the only person that can call it a failure is yourself. And I've never posted a piece of content that I didn't feel was valuable to someone in some way, shape, or form, because my intention is always love. So the storytelling becomes the lessons to evolve your content, because you'll start out, it'll suck, because that's how you think about yourself when you're looking at Instagram models who have millions, $3 million that their daddy gave them, and they've hired a production team to utilize fake videos to add in squirts of video, that to me is horrible content. But the mentality of the collective consciousness has been media mind manipulated into believing that that's valuable. However, there is no value to what they're actually telling you. Meaning, if you do create that kind of content, you've sold yourself out. Storytelling has a problem and a solution. It also is grounded in heart. What's the intention? Is it to sell a product? Is it to look pretty? That's not storytelling. That's pedestal worshiping. So do you want to be worshipped? Because I can promise you that when you're looking back at your life, because you will die, you ain't going to be enjoying the life that you led on this planet because you weren't willing to do the work to get yourself to where you are capable of. So that's the hero's journey on the planet. Moving on to the next one, and this goes in hand what I just said about telling stories. You want to care about people. You want to care about I call them patients. You're going to care about your customers. You want to care about your patients. If you're really up to what you were meant to do as your definite purpose, you want to care about your people. Meaning, long baths with rose petals creates toxic exchanges between the storyteller and the customer. Creates pedestal worshiping and envy. That means this person does not care about their customers, so it's baffling to me how they are a business person. And that it does not represent New York City, by the way, either. This is a facade of what the internet has created. Meaning, I know New York. I've been to New York City twice. I'm very good at reading. I've been to New York a million times. Every summer when I was growing up, we would go to New York. It's the same energy, it's just bigger. I saw people on the street that I knew. Those are the people you care about. The people. That makes you the good leader. That makes you the business person. And that makes you up to big things. And there's all kinds of different layers in that, because once you establish your definite purpose, you know you care about people, you want to gift information to them to expand them so they have the right to choose, which is another important aspect of business. A lot of these media outlets want to brainwash you with colors, wording, sound, to get you to purchase products. You want to use tones of voice to hypnotize their audience. And it tells you that they don't actually care about their customers. They don't care about family. They don't care about humanity. They don't care about Earth. If you're producing a content that's garbage, you know people are going to spend $24.99. And then what's going to happen is it's going to go in the trash. And then now what happens? The dump fills with trash. You want to take a look at your stamp on the planet, if you're the problem or the solution, because we're at a shift in the world at this time to destruction or survival. Because in the old days, we didn't have skyscrapers. We didn't have medicine like we do. We didn't have scientific advancements in evolution. We're blessed. However, it's being taken advantage of for the machine. So it is important we have to unravel from the machine by storytelling authentically and by caring about our customers. Stick to your DNA. I don't know, I kind of feel iffy on this one. I feel like maybe the sticking to your DNA is, for me, more along the lines of you want to be authentic. You want to be authentic, meaning I'm going to teach you about basketball. However, I'm not going to pretend that I'm a famous basketball player. However, I know some drills like suicides or shuffles and other squats and lunges that I can teach you on how to get stronger legs because I have common sense. I'm a fitness personnel too. Fitness personality. So sticking to your DNA means you're not going to you're going to pay $500 to this dude who rented a Ferrari and take a picture and act as if that's your Ferrari. That's inauthentic. Sticking in another perspective of sticking to your DNA. There's it's a frequency. It's like comfort zone. Comfort zone, stepping out of your comfort zone. Does that make sense? It's like, there's like people around you that you cannot stand. Because we have different kinds of people on the planet who are different sorts of aliens, different sorts of cultures. And if you're Black American and you've got a bunch of crazy white women, you're not going to be happy working with them. So a little of this has to do with, and I think Gary's version is a little different, but this is where I'm going with it because I want you to see many perspectives. Everything that's being set out into the universe, there's many, 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 there's 7.8 billion perspectives on topics. However, some people can't come up with their own perspective. And sometimes a perspective for me is the same as him. However, the way I say it is heard by 10 million, and the way he says it, it's heard by 20 million. And I don't mean by heard, but I mean by heard. I understand what you're saying. Because the more people, again, speaking to the words of healing and advancement of education, the more that the growth of society can coexist together. Coexist. You can be yourself. You can be nice to one another, even though you're different. And then knowing the people that you can't be nice to. Those are the ones you're going to battle. Those are called demons. Do things that matter. Not only do you want to do things that matter to yourself, it's a stepping into a space. You don't have to do it, but you do it because it matters to you. It's a stepping into, meaning you may initially start in a business because you want a business, and that's okay. However, as you evolve in your business, you want to see the path into doing things that matter to you. You're stepping into the positive mental attitude because that's your envelope. So if you watch my content on the 17 laws of success, we have 2 envelopes. One is the blessings and one are the negatives. And you're battling that when you first get here on the planet. That's why babies wake up in the middle of the night. It's from external, but it's from their bad envelope too. Yes, they're hungry too, but there's a lot, they're people. Okay? So you want to take a look at what matters to you. Your definite purpose. Self matter, external matter, soothes the soul. Connected. Let's go that way. Every day I like to get up and I like to write for 2 hours because it soothes my soul and it matters to me. It matters to me that I do yoga, that I work out, that I go walking, that I feel physically fit. That matters to me. It makes no difference to you, but it matters to me. Do things that matter. Meaning you're going to do work that matters. It's like watching someone else moving through something. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you're living a definite purpose, then you know the work that you do matters. Gifting, being of service. And yes, you can make clothing and be of service. However, having a million t-shirt shops out there that are trash t-shirts, low quality, just puts crap clothes in the dump. Meaning you don't have to have a million styles of t-shirts. It's getting regulated on the quantity and the quality of products, and then balancing out the cost of making, producing, selling, profit, payment to your employees. Everybody wins, including the earth. That matters. And knowing that everything is empty and meaningless, and that you ain't shit, that you're a team, working together, and sometimes people aren't good fits, and that's okay. No excuses. Don't make excuses. Procrastination. People who tend to make a lot of excuses means they don't take responsibility. So the opposite of that could be take responsibility. Own your mistakes. Excuses are procrastinations. Excuses stop the forward movement of any business. Well, how can you gonna do some content? It's like I watch y'all stand up every every time he's at a conference. He says the same thing. You make content. You've got to produce content. You've got to produce content. Well, what are you doing? I produce content once a month. So you think you're going to grow your business off producing one piece of content a month? I produce 100 pieces of content a day, and I got 11 followers on my TikTok page. Yet I still produce it because it matters to me, because I have valuable information to share, because I know that God's on my side, and have applied faith in the fact that when this comes out, that I'm going to be taking down a corrupted government system, a corrupted Hollywood system, a corruption in the business world, corruption on this internet platform, not to mention the abuse that the CIA has put on us for the last 100 years, or however long the CIA has been around. What is that going to bring? Integrity back onto the planet, so we can start creating Earth again, humanity again. Get rid of the people that don't matter, because some people do not matter. Monovan does not matter. The one that shall not be named is another thing that I will eventually call her, because that's who she is. The same thing with Robert De Niro, one that shall not be named. There is no such thing as overnight success. There is no such thing as overnight success. However, that's what's occurring at this time, and this is the result. It's actually a great lesson for us as a huge failure. No such thing as overnight success. If you have overnight success, then you're money hungry. 99% of the content produced on the platforms, not really YouTube, because I find some really good, valuable information from folks like Eckhart Tolle, Napoleon Hill, Gary Vaynerchuk, yes, Bradley. None of them were overnight successes. However, the millennial mentality is based on the social media model who had a mommy and a daddy who are Taliban and who gave her money and who's manipulated the system, thinks they will get the same thing that she got. However, she has no experience in business, nor does she have any experience in education. She only looks for external validation, just like the rest of them. And it looks like we're running out of time. So I want to thank everybody for joining me for this 30-minute podcast. Gary, thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. This was a little different, this podcast. So thanks for these, thanks for your time. Thanks for listening. Use my information, enjoy it, practice, love yourself, love your life, find your balance, and be the light.